Amendment to the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act now allows for domestic workers, including chauffeurs and gardeners, to claim from the compensation fund if they are injured or contract a disease at work. And the claim can date as far back as 1994. Employers are also being encouraged to register their domestic workers with the compensation fund. Fund Acting Commissioner Farzana Fakir says they're doing communication drives to educate people about these amendments.
In terms of the 1994 one, let me first give you a background. Within the definition of employees in the the previous act, the amendments that were not in place, domestic workers, etc., were not included. And in 2014, the compensation fund, which is an entity of the Department of Labor and under the Minister of Labor, then embarked on a process where they started having Izimbizos, etc., with domestic workers to start looking at entrenching their rights within the COIDA Act and allowing them to have entitlement to benefits. But before, obviously, as you know, putting amendments into place is quite a long process, and it was just not looking at domestic workers, but it was also looking at other aspects of the act that we wanted to improve on to give access and benefits easily to injured workers. And as we were embarking on this process in 2018, obviously, we were taken to the Constitutional Court by the Domestic Workers Association. We did not oppose that taking of this compensation fund to court, and the Constitutional Court ruled that in 2018 that it was unconstitutional, thereby supporting our notion of inclusion of domestic workers within the Act, to be for domestic workers to be excluded. And they also ruled that it was a Constitutional Court ruling that the claims would go back to 1994, but obviously within the prescripts of lodging a claim within the compensation fund. So I think you are correct. There is going to be some challenges as such, in terms of employers now providing the documents, the medical reports, etc., accessing all of those when you want to claim, especially since if they from 1994 until, I mean, you're anticipating until recent. But what we are doing also is we are doing a lot of communication drives to stakeholders, and both employers and the domestic workers. We're working closely with the Domestic Worker Association to also educate them on what that process is.